Hello, you Weeb Trash. We're Weeb Trash as well. I'm Cody.
I'm Dean.
I'm Seve again.
And I was louder that time than I wanted to be, but that's okay. I can fix that. And I'm not going to try to re-record this again.
Technical issues.
I swear to God, these technical issues are going to fucking kill me. Okay, so we're going to talk about anime shit. Maybe our favorites, because there's some weird, long-winded things we'll try to talk about because we don't know what we're going to talk about. And maybe the IMDb top 100, 30 to 40. Almost midway through, so we'll see what people actually think is mid. But I know Dean has not watched a lot. What have you watched this week?
Technically, I did watch a lot. It was just one show. So I started watching One Piece again. And Seve was about to say something about One Piece and shows like it.
So
He doesn't remember what it is.
no, I remember what it is. And I mean, what One
Is
Piece
it
has
the
been going on forever, right?
Is it the commitment, or is it that the old episodes are old?
I don't. It's
Both.
so it's the same thing that like I can go back and I can watch episodes of Dragon Ball Z now
Mhm.
because there's that nostalgia to
Right.
it. But like if I were to watch it fresh right now, I think it's probably why I've not watched any of Super.
Mhm.
Because it's one of those things where it's just like I don't want to watch 6 episodes for something to happen.
Right.
Like just tell me what's going on. Like I don't have the time for that anymore. Like I'm not like, an 11-year-old kid turning on Toonami after school watching an episode of something before I get to do my homework. It's just like I gotta work till like at least 5, and then like I have to make my own food.
Yeah.
I've got
Adult shit.
I have to be an adult now,
It's the commitment. Yeah.
and I wouldn't mind it if it wasn't like if it was like I could watch an episode and be like, okay, I got a lot out of the episode. Like this is the stuff that happened in it. But it's like what happened to that one episode? It's like, well, they were really just kind of continuing this thing that they were doing,
Mhm.
but like in the next like 4 episodes, it'll conclude.
Mhm.
Like this one fight will. It's like, all right, I can't commit to that. I don't have the time.
So I was telling Cody last week, is he's not even gonna try One Piece because he hasn't watched Hunter x Hunter yet. I told him, I said I'd rather watch that instead.
Hunter's good.
Yeah, absolutely. They have movies. They have 3 movies, and if you watch these 3 movies, you're already over the 200s. And the movies were made in like the late 2000s, so the
How many
animation's a lot better.
filler episodes are there?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but here's the thing. So watch those movies. It's the East Blue arc, it's Skypiea and Alabasta and everything. It's like the first 3 big arcs, and then you're already in the 200s. There was a person I found on Reddit who is basically doing like supercuts of the arcs and then compiling them into like hour-long episodes. So I don't know how many episodes are in that cut, but they're about an hour long. And we were watching it. It started last weekend. We started with the movies, and then we picked up on the supercut. And I went to look and see the episode list. And so we've only been watching it on and off for a week, and we're already in the 300s. So like, it's watchable. There's ways to watch it. But it is a really good show. Like, even though it's super long, and it's definitely it's probably because I watched it when I was on TV, which was bad because it was the 4Kids dub, and it's fucking 4Kids and there's censorship and all that other crap, like no smoking. Sanji had a lollipop in his mouth instead of a cigarette, like fucking water guns. It's weird shit, but it's not the 4Kids dub; it's the Funimation dub. Yeah, I think it's good.
The fact that it's good when you put all of this work in to watch like a supercut of it and not just like that's already more work than I'm willing to put in.
Well, that's the reason why I'm watching the supercut is because I don't want to watch a fucking anime. I don't want to watch a music intro. over and over and over again. This one cuts out the intros and outros and the flashbacks and the previews.
And the
So it's
filler.
like, I mean, some of it's in there. The filler that's okay to watch, but it's not really that there's a lot of filler. It's just it's a really long show, which I get. Like if that's like your favorite anime in the world, like I get it. Like it's a show. It's gonna have an end, but it's basically like your favorite thing is just going on and on and on. That's good for you. I'm glad you have that in your life. I mean, it's not my favorite show. I mean, it's good. I mean, there's a reason why it's always on like greatest anime lists all the time. It's because it's good, and it's gotten better. Like it's not like it was like, oh, it used to be good. It's still going. Like Super. Like I like Super, but it's not. I definitely had too much high expectations for Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I think part of it is when it goes on for so long. It's like the people that have watched it and stuck with it, like they really enjoy it. It must be doing something well to be getting so many episodes, but to have that much that you kind of have to get through for new people trying to come into it, it's
hard for new people to get into. Absolutely.
Like
I
was
remember
I was trying to tell somebody about Black Clover, and that has like 170 episodes.
Yeah.
And they just saw how many episodes there were, and they were just like, "I'm not gonna watch this."
Well, see,
I was like, "All right, that's fair." Like,
I get it, but also it's like when you look at something like that, it's like you're looking at it like work. Like you're not supposed to. I'm not gonna work to watch a series. I'll fucking drop it. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, like I watched all of Black Clover because I like Black Clover.
I was enjoying it. I need to go back and like trying to remember why I stopped.
Screaming.
I might have like, I think an arc concluded, and then they were taking a break from it, and they were gonna come back.
Yeah.
It was like around episode 100 something was when that had happened. And then I think that might have been when you were still driving. And so I think you were like, I think you were just like, I'll catch up and get caught up to it. And I think you got caught up to where they were taking a break. And then I was just like, I'll just wait and we can watch it together. And then we just didn't.
Just never did.
If it's where I think it is, then you'll get greeted by a seemingly shorter but way more jacked Asta. Asta gets the gains.
Have you watched it all?
Yeah, I'm current.
Okay, so the last thing I remember was
it the light the guy?
Yeah, something with him. Time Bro got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then Moody Magic Boy. Asta's friend growing up.
Yeah.
Went elf eared on him.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was like where it just like stopped.
Okay, so you'll have a little bit before you get to Jack Asta, but he's not too far away.
Like the next arc is the Grand Magic Tournament or something like that, isn't it? Or Royal.
They had already started that tournament where like he was teamed up with the
trap guy.
The trap guy. I thought it was before that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, never mind.
Was it? Because the trap guy didn't happen to do anything with the elves. I thought that was after.
The whole tournament I thought got put on hold or got stopped because of something or another.
Yeah, no, because that would have happened after the elf shit because
when the last thing
still has some elf shit when he beats the person he has to fight in that fight, I think.
The last thing I had seen, like whatever his name is, was like got fully turned into elf. Like he was attacking Asta and stuff in some place.
Yeah, because like the elves come back.
Where it stopped.
Okay. That's a weird stopping place, but I think I know where that is. So that makes sense, I think. But yeah, so you're not too terribly far away from Jack Asta. It's very like nothing else really changes visually but Asta, and it's like distracting for the first few episodes because you're like, God damn, Asta, like think Alistair's doing something illegal here. Someone's selling him some steroids on the side or something, some GHG or whatever it's called. He's going to GNC every day.
Yeah, so it'd have to be after the climax of the big elf shit. Because I think right after that, Asta has his new sword. He finds out he can take the poison away from everybody.
That just reminds me of I can't mention it, but there's something similar that happens at a certain point in Demon Slayer that is a strange choice, but they made it, and it's like, oh, okay.
I need to get back on that.
Yeah, we railed on it pretty hard.
Mugen Train is the next thing we're on, so we saw the first season.
Yeah, you got Mugen Train and then the Entertainment District, and then we'll be caught up.
There. So, getting back on track.
Yeah, back to.
So Dean's watched One Piece.
Okay, well, you watched other things though.
I watched all of Moon Knight in a day.
Hell yeah, Moon Knight's a banger.
It was good. It was good.
It was good. It's pretty good. I think I texted you both about my opinions on it already. Watched Moon Knight. I watched all my weeklies this morning at 5 a.m. because that's when I woke up.
Gross.
That sucks.
Technically, I woke up at 4:30 and tried to go back to sleep and didn't. I mean, I wake up my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. for work every day anyway, but I usually try to sleep till at least 7 on my days off.
Yeah, no, like I am not waking up on my days off before like 9 or 10. Like waking up at like 5:45 every day. I'm like, no, you can get fucked. I'm not getting up any earlier.
So I was up in the living room like at 5 a.m., maybe 5:30, because did my wake up, and started watching my weeklies. Started watching Skeleton Knight.
Yeah.
So I think we're all caught up with that now.
Yeah, I caught up on that.
I'm on the dub.
Yeah, the dub.
Yeah, I think we're all watching the dub then.
The last episode, they invaded that castle or something like that.
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
And she kicked that guy in the dick like 500 times.
Yeah, the dude's dick is obliterated.
Yeah, so
a bunch more of this weird, creepy sexual assault stuff happening.
Yeah, like
that was literally what I thought. I was like, "Oh, this again."
Yeah, it's like it happened first episode, and then it's just like okay, and then we don't come back around to it for the next 3 episodes. It's like okay, so we're just done with that whole thing, and then it's like fifth episode comes back. Like I'm like, was this written by the same dude that did Sword Art? Like, what is with this?
So that was good. He finally took his helmet off.
Yeah, and she didn't
freak out.
Yeah, she's like,
try and kill him.
Well, you're a skeleton. All right.
She's like, you're cursed. And he's like, I'm cursed, even though I made my character this way.
Yeah.
I'm cursed by my own choices.
Yeah. It's more believable than saying I'm in a video game.
Yeah, fair point. He took that in stride,
what
though.
Curse? Self-destructive tendencies. It's like, I feel you, bud. I feel you.
Bad life choices.
So that's good. Fucking intro still a banger.
Yeah, I texted you.
He's like, why is it so good?
What did I say? I was like, what?
I think it was like, why does it go so hard?
Yeah, I think that's what I said. Something along those lines. Why the fuck does Skelly Knight intro go so hard?
It's a fucking banger, man.
Yeah, it was Thursday that I watched it. It was Thursday at 6. So after work, I was just like, dude, because I realized, because normally I'll start watching something and then it'll get halfway through and I'll realize I'm listening to the intro and I'm just like, why am I listening to this skip?
Yeah.
But this one I was just like, I'm listening to it, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm just like, the only other time I can remember just being like, fuck yeah, this song was first season of Hunter x Hunter, the outro for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I think Let Me Hear, I think is the name of the song. Yeah.
That
one
song
is
still
great.
goes fucking hard. I
It's
love
so
that one.
good. So
I,
good.
when I was driving home last night, it came on because it's in my favorites, and
Hell
like
yeah.
it was great because like I was coming home and it was like 11:30 or something. And I was driving. I didn't realize it. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm getting sleepy, and that song came up. I'm like, not anymore.
Not anymore.
I'm awake.
Kicking ass.
It's such a good song. Just get pumped up to.
It's so good. They're still making music too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a good band. What else did I watch?
I don't know. I mean, I do know, but
Spy Family.
yeah.
A new episode of Spy Family.
I think that the new dub comes out tonight.
I thought it was
no
I
idea.
thought it was yesterday.
Was it yes?
I think it was episode 7.
Oh shit. Okay, then maybe I'm on 6, so I guess it hasn't
Let
come
me-
out yet because I watched that today.
It's her first day of school.
Okay, yeah, so that was. I know that was out last week.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the Crunchyroll currently only has 6 episodes. So
Oh, okay.
the first day of school is the most recent one.
Yeah.
So I guess
why I
it
watched
comes
this.
out tonight or tomorrow morning, probably.
Nice.
That I still find that just that show about a spy and an assassin and their family together is just so wholesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good.
It's like every single person, or at least the main family, every one of them is like real wholesome, with the exception of like Lloyd's inner thoughts.
Yeah.
When he's like, oh, I've got that sinking
But
feeling.
even then, like he has a like whenever they were at the interview thing, and he just like fucking breaks the table
Yeah.
because of how he was treating his like fake family.
Yeah.
Like that was like a real like guttural response from him.
Yeah.
It was like,
But like I
that-
do love that Mustache McElegant is
Yeah.
still in there.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there for a hot minute if it follows the manga, because he's like, he effectively stays as like the main teacher for that class. So
Yeah, that
cool.
honestly,
love that guy.
I might have mentioned it last time, but like I went from never have I gone from just like hating a character, just being like, I love this guy so fast, than with Mustache McElegant. But I was just like, all right, this guy is like wearing on me, like all about elegance, like really talking down to people. But when he decks that guy, I was just like, I like this guy. Hell yeah.
This guy.
Hell yeah.
This one.
My man.
He looks like Harriman from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, the rabbit.
Yeah, with the
That's
big
what-
mustache.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, it reminds me of him. 'Cause he has a top hat on too.
I see it now.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever unsee it.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that.
You're just gonna see a
I'm
big
okay
rabbit.
with it. I dig it.
I love
Definitely
that.
gonna,
Like,
definitely gonna be the thumbnail picture for the next time you talk about Spy Family.
yeah, I'm just gonna put that guy. Just the rabbit, I guess. I don't have to do any photoshopping. I can just put the rabbit up. It's the same design.
Yeah, I was definitely digging the last episode, seeing your just fucking go hard on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the same thing with like Lloyd, like having feelings for this fake family, where she's just like, I am that child's mother, and beats the fuck out of that.
Yeah, that was good. And then when like Anya was just like decked that kid,
Yeah, she punches Desmond super fucking hard.
that was so great.
Hell yeah.
It's
So
like
good.
that. Everything about that show is just like, yes, this is what I wanted. Like,
It makes me wish it was like a full release instead of weekly.
yeah, I feel like this is something I could binge. Like,
I definitely would have.
yeah, I mean that's how I did the manga. For whatever reason, like it feels kind of samey, but in the way that blends together really well. So it feels like when you binge a lot of the manga, it's like an arc or two, versus this very minor thing happened, but it's very wholesome and I enjoyed this episode, but nothing really happened this episode. We'll be getting to those like maybe the end of this season if it's only 12 episodes. But yeah, we'll see a lot more Anya in school. I love that Anya is like, her voice actress is just killing it. She is running the game on this child actor shit, because like Anya says, I think, like, thanks a crunch and have a rice day. And I'm like, are these intentional food puns, or is like this just another one of those Anya doesn't know words good, so she's just like, that's what that sounds like, so I'm just gonna say it. It's good. Love it. Like, she's killing it. I do like that we finally get Twilight's handler. She comes up a lot more in the future. She's like, why did you rent out a castle? And he's like, it's necessary. Don't ask me about it.
Like, don't ask me questions like that. By the way, here's
more.
some more expensive
Here's more.
Yeah.
I saw the receipt on the one about the castle. It was like 35,000. That seems like pretty cheap for how big that castle was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like because it's an amusement park, but I don't know if there's like a direct currency exchange rate for whatever their currency
Oh yeah,
is.
I don't know what it was. I remember it was 2 tickets. One of them was like 35,000. I forgot what the other one was.
It was like
Okay,
5 or
so-
8 because it was the furniture, I think.
So, $35,000 in 1960 is the equivalent purchasing power of $341,000.
Does it take place in the 60s?
It's like a 60s vibe. It's close enough.
It's
okay.
around the 60s.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
What is you said it was 65? Was the actual year?
I have
I
no
don't
idea.
know.
Oh.
No. I don't think
It's-
it's got
it's
like
a-
a
it's-
direct year, but that kind of makes sense.
It's got it's got all of the like 60s like spy vibes and stuff that you would see.
Yeah, and I don't think we see any like technology that's like more advanced than what would have been there in the 60s. So it's a good enough assumption.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, $35,000 and you're looking at
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah, not
a lot.
even counting like
So
all of
just
the
rounding
agents
up,
and
we're-
shit that
yeah.
had to go over there.
About $342,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So yeah, castle rental, furniture, stuff like that for a night. Like, okay, yeah, I can see that a little bit more now.
Yeah. And then the fucking clothes. Like, Anya was so excited about her fucking uniform. And then,
Oh,
like,
and
everyone else is wearing the
everyone
same
wore the
thing.
same
And she's
thing.
like, why is everyone wearing the same thing? And he's like, oh,
That's what
this
a
kid's an
uniform
idiot.
is.
It was super adorable when she's like, "Gotta go to the park."
She's showing
Oh, yeah,
everybody.
Look at my
showing
uniform.
Everybody.
Oh, it's so good. That show is so great. I love that show so much.
Speaking of shows I love so much, also love After World Domination.
Hell yeah. Beach
episode.
episode, bitch.
Beach
What's that one?
episode. That's the one where it's Power Rangers. Red
Oh,
Power
yeah.
Rangers in love with the head villain, or one of the head villains. They actually broke down the hierarchy this episode of the villains.
They did.
It's like master villain, and then it's like what, 5 or 6?
I think it was 6,
Monster.
and then they were adding a 7th that
Yeah.
didn't happen. But
It's like they have head guy, who reminds me of like Mr. Bison from Street Fighter, and but not as evil. And then it's like 6 monster leaders. They all have like, they're all bioengineered animals, and then the 6 princesses that are under them, and then the minions.
yeah, we do get to see the Beast Princess, who's like the tomboy character, I guess, if you like stick with archetypes or whatever. Is like Decime, the main female character. Why are you so fucking girly? We're like villains. What are you doing? She's like, oh yeah, my parents signed me up to be in this evil organization because they're minions in the organization.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense now.
It's just like, I was just good at everything.
Yeah, it's just out here just like running super fast, breaking shit. It was so funny. Like this, even though it's the beach episode, it was still fairly wholesome. And like Beast Princess watching Decime and Fudo do like their beach day shit, and like she buries him in the sand, and Beast Princess like, oh my god, she's torturing the Red Ranger. What's going on? It like it's just so good. Like that show, not as wholesome, but it gets close, and it's
It's good.
way stupider, and I love that.
Yeah, it's God, solid show.
Yeah.
No, we still got like 6 more weeks that we're gonna be talking about it until it's over.
Hell yeah. I'm really hoping that this doesn't end and we get a second season, because this is really good, and I don't think anything else is really, because I could be super wrong, and I have no idea. I haven't read the Kaguya-sama manga. If this and Kaguya-sama go away at the end of this season, I don't think there's anything else coming out next season that's gonna take this spot for me, and I'm gonna be really sad about it.
I actually did watch something new.
Whoa.
New to me. It wasn't an isekai. Technically 2 things, because we watched Obi-Wan today.
Fuck yeah, you did.
First
Good.
2 episodes of Obi-Wan.
I didn't realize that was an anime.
And neither was Moon Knight, and we talked about it.
I mean, Obi-Wan
You
Kenobi
watched
is in kind of an isekai, right? He didn't die, but his soul died.
Oh my god.
And now he's on a desert planet.
It's good. I'm excited. I just
Slaps.
love Ewan McGregor. That's the whole Star Wars side, though.
So good.
Hey, man, it's like between watching One Piece and playing Elden Ring, like I didn't have a whole lot of time. But I watched Cabanari in the Iron Fortress.
Okay, I've watched a little bit of that.
I saw a clip of it on TikTok, and it was a fight scene. I said, "Holy shit, that looks really good."
Yeah.
So I started watching it this morning. I think I was like 6 episodes in. I just like watching the fight scenes because, goddamn, is it fucking beautiful.
Yeah, they definitely. I think it originally came out around like season 2 of Attack on Titan, and everyone's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this is the new Attack on Titan."
Mhm.
But it's just the fight scenes are really good and they're way more frequent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is pretty much it. I mean, it does have an interesting kind of like pull and concept.
Yeah,
to
like
it, but
I get the it's like zombie Titan Snowpiercer.
basically,
Because they're on a train, but in the only places they stop are like other fortresses, like other train stations, basically. But and then I guess they move from place to place as it gets overrun.
So I think because of that, that should answer our question on which topic we should go on what our favorite. We should probably go with favorite fight then.
There we go. Yeah, Dean will have a few to talk about from Carbonari.
I'd have to remember the names.
It's
It's not even like a particular fight scene. It's just him fighting the fucking zombies or whatever the fuck they are.
yeah, because
I already forgot what they're called. It starts with a K.
Yeah, it's something. I don't think it's Carbonari, is it? I think it's something.
No,
else.
that's he's a Cabanari where he's a mix of human.
He's like
and
half and
whatever
half.
The fuck it is. He's a
Yeah.
half. He's a half and half.
This is
Yeah,
the
that was
zombie-
pretty brutal though. Like he gets bitten and he's infected. He just immediately starts like bolting shit to
Yeah,
himself, and he puts a fucking choker on and hangs himself to make sure the blood doesn't, like the infected blood doesn't go to his brain.
shit's
like,
crazy.
Like, by God, his fight or flight response was insane.
Yeah, that dude goes hard.
It's like, oh, I'm just gonna mutilate myself instantly just to
Yeah.
make sure I live.
Then he fights
like,
zombies
doing-
with a pile bunker too, which is fucking cool.
But like doing that, like apparently like his body transformed, but his mind and his soul didn't. So he retained his humanity. So he's super strong and everything, but he has a taste for blood. And yeah, still looks like a nerd.
Yeah, he's a big fucking nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah,
God, the animation's beautiful in it. I was
yeah,
super
it's
happy about
super
that.
good, and it's not like a brand new show either. Like it's
It's like
killing it.
2018, I think.
Yeah, it was killing
16.
it when it came out.
The low points when they're just talking about shit, I don't care about.
Yeah. There's a fair
I'm
bit
like,
of politics in that show too.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about that. I was like, should a zombie like come over the walls right now? Like, one
Yeah.
of those going on. And the blue dude, Kurogi or whatever the fuck his name is, Junji, I don't know his name. The main bodyguard, he's a fucking prick.
Yeah. We'll just
He's
start
like, I
calling
wanna
them all
kill
different
you.
types of pasta.
Fucking blue prick is what his
That's-
name is.
Carbonara and the iron pasta. He's.
Um,
I don't think there's a blue pasta, but if there was, he'd be blue.
but if you just want to fight, if you watch cool fight scenes, it's on Crunchyroll. It's good. It's
Yeah.
dubbed.
The politics side's not terrible, but it's
It's not terrible, but I just don't care.
yeah, it's not as interesting as kind of what's happening in the world and stuff.
Listen, the only politics in anime I watch are the Gundam ones because there's giant robots.
Fuck yeah.
But yep, I think that's all I watch. Oh, I just finished Obi-Wan like right before I jumped on the phone call.
Yeah. God, Obi-Wan's. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
All right, Cody, what did you watch then?
Did you watch a lot? Because I watched a shitload of stuff this week. So.
I did end up watching a bit.
What did you watch the week before as well? Because you weren't here with us.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Yeah, I
fuck.
forgot. Yeah, that's might be similar then.
So let's see. What all did I watch?
I
I know
don't.
you watched Assassination.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty fun for the most part.
Mhm.
Mom's
Mom's weird.
Did everyone watch
Yeah.
the dub?
Yes.
Okay. Did the spell chanting sound stupid? It was just like reverse audio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
was
didn't
just
look look
words
into it, but
backwards.
I guarantee it was backwards.
Okay,
words.
good, because that's what I thought, and I was like, "Is this like? Am I just hearing this wrong? Is this a
And
dub thing?
I-
What is this?"
I don't think that's the first time that's happened in a show either.
I can't think of one, but
I
it just sounds like
vaguely
an
remember
easy out.
Like I've
where that
seen
was like a
before.
spell casting thing, and they just had to like recite it. Oh, Zatanna. That's how she casts
Okay.
stuff. She
It's
speaks it
backwards.
backwards. That's how the spell incantations work.
Weird. I feel like if that's the gimmick, that's fine, but to like pass it off as just like a chant is like, no, this is dumb.
Mhm.
Like no one acknowledges that they're
Sped up.
speaking backwards, and it's
Well, it's also like really high pitched.
Yeah, it's sped up.
yeah,
As
it's
well.
it's a strange sound. I get that it's like easy to throw in, but it's like, bro, no.
Yeah. So
stop.
yeah, I watched the World's Finest Assassin. It was okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said, like his mom was fucking weird.
Yeah, that bitch starts
She's
off
kinda-
weird. She's
She ends weird.
yeah, she's weird.
Honestly,
Yes.
like they're like it was like the first episode or two, like I was just like, what the fuck is happening? It's like when he's like, all right, let's go down to the secret dungeon area I have. And it's like, all right, you know the
Yeah.
thing, strip naked. I'm just like, I need adult.
I don't know
Uh,
about this.
he's like- and he's like, "Trust me, I'm a doctor." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
oh, okay.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, it's the medical exam. He's actually just giving him like a medical exam. I was like,
Like,
okay.
Oh, okay. This is better.
And then his mom is there, and it's like his mom's not trying to give him a medical
Mhm.
exam. She is not a doctor.
Yeah. She's all up in his business. It's terrible.
She's just a weirdo. What is it? A
yeah.
reverse like Epidus?
I don't remember what point, because like I didn't label it in my notes, but I have one note that this mom is the absolute worst it's ever been, and I
It's
feel like
probably
that's
near
pretty
the
accurate.
end. It was like episode 10, I think, and she was like, "I'm just trying to see how you've grown," or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
it's because the
Yeah.
fucking other two that he has with him are talking about.
She was like, "He gets boners in the morning."
yeah, and then the mom's like, really?
Really? You don't say. Like, all right, calm down.
I did
That's right.
call
I think I may
the
have blocked a lot of that out.
yeah, it's pretty bad. I did call the love interest thing like mid-season though. I was like, this bitch
Oh,
is for sure
the other chick.
related to him somehow, and she is.
But it's apparently it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like they don't really ever explain it, but yeah, it's the fantasy world. Maybe they're like fourth or fifth cousins, to where it's not that weird, but it's like
don't
Alabama
know.
weird, probably. You know,
I
Japan
was
doesn't
just
care
like-
about cousins.
You know what? Like, I'm cool with the assassin thing, him learning how to assassinate people. Like, I don't need the romance. We can just
Super
leave
cool.
that out.
I do like that the goddess is just like sending everyone. That bitch is
And
like
that's funny.
paparazzi.
I love
Let's
that.
go.
It's so
Like,
great. It's so
I
great.
love the DJ that she sends. That was just like trying to like drop mad rhymes. It's like, man, without a beat, I'm just insulting people.
yeah, It's
The
so
world's
good.
best DJ.
Yeah, that was. I think that was of the people they sent. I think that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, that one and
I
the
did-
paparazzi were fucking hilarious.
I did like the one that just wanted to fight everybody. It was like the samurai, I think. It's like
Yeah.
he's just trying to fight everybody. Are you the hero?
Yeah, I think what I learned about the DJ one is like a lot of the other ones, like, they at least like got to the hero before getting
Mm.
got, but like
He
those
just
are
gets
just people
stopped on the
passing by.
road. Yeah.
Ran over.
So yeah, I liked that. But you know, overall, it was fun. I enjoyed it for what it was, but like, I mean, it's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but
Mhm.
it was a fun enough concept.
Yeah.
You know, once again, like, I could have
Give-
just
get a
done without the
6 out of 10.
harem anime stuff of it.
Mhm.
I went
I'm
on
glad
this-
I'm glad I watched it, but I probably won't rewatch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll watch
Oh.
a second season if it comes out.
I went on this I think it might have been last weekend or something like that, where it's like, man, I want to watch something, but I don't know what I want to watch.
Mhm.
So I watched like the first episode of several things,
Mhm.
trying to find something that was just like holding my attention or something like that. So I tried that Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic one. Watched like the first episode of that. It was just like, I don't know. I just wasn't vibing with it at the time. It might be good. It might. I don't know. I don't really remember much about it. So I tried watching some of that. I watched that Suke, I think is what it was. The Netflix.
Oh yeah.
One. It's like 6 episodes, but like I had fun with it. Like I enjoyed it. It kind of gave me at times it kind of gave me some of those vibes from like Samurai 7,
Okay.
where it's just like, you know, all these different like strong people kind of getting together to like help out someone. Let's see, watched that while I was on Netflix. I came across and watched Sirius the Jaeger, which was okay. It was one of those I threw it in the background sort of a thing. Like while I was working, I was like, I'll throw this up and watch it. But it's not something that like I was giving my undivided attention to. Because like half of it was like, you know, oh, vampires and vampire hunting. I was like, okay, cool. And then the other part of it is like, oh, this weird relic thing that, you know, the lineage of our family have protected for all these years, and finding and doing whatever we do with that. And the ending for it was kind of like, I was just like, all right, whatever. So did that, watched my normal, you know, the weekly stuff that we've already talked about. I think the only other one that I have watched that I think you guys are not was The Greatest Demon Lord Reborn as a Typical Nobody. Meh.
Meh. Oh,
It started off as a fun concept sort of a thing, where it's just like, you know, he'd gotten real powerful, and it was like you know, like he basically, like, even like his trusted advisors like were beginning to fear him, and like when they fear him, like he doesn't really have anybody close to him. So he's like, I'm gonna reincarnate, just have a nice quiet life. But he still is like super strong magically. And so he's like just doing all this stuff, and people are like, how are you able to do that? He's just like, I don't know, just do it. And so of course, like, he's super overpowered and all this stuff, and it's just like he's like, I just want to have a quiet, normal life, but then he just keeps doing like just this insane, batshit, crazy stuff. So it's just like, I understand you're wanting to, but like, you're not doing it, dude.
Yeah, this whole lying low thing is not working for you, man.
Yeah. And story, I don't know. I feel like it's getting weaker. So there was that. Serious Acre. I think that might be most of what I've watched. I mean, there's that other one I talked to you guys about beforehand that I just.
Oh yeah.
Was it Ari Ferretta? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
So from commonplace to world's strongest is the, I guess, English translation of the title. But yeah, there's a lot of problematic stuff in that one for me.
The middle note, I mean, we talked about it beforehand, but if we ever decide to watch it, we know what to look out for.
Stop
So
making
yeah,
lollies, god damn it.
Yeah.
well, and you remember in Konosuba you had like was it Darkness,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just like this major
Nexus.
masochist. Yeah, so there's like a dragon lady that's like that.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's like an entire scene where like when they first meet her, she's like in a full like dragon form, and he's just like, thing about dragons, are all incredibly armored except for one area, and he shoves like a giant rod up its ass, and it's like the ass. So he basically just sodomizes the dragon, and the dragon starts getting a bit too into it.
Already then.
Oh yeah, it's awkward.
This show, all right.
Yeah, it's one of those that like I just kind of had put on while I was working, and like as I was like working, I'm
Catches
just
your
like,
attention.
what the fuck is going on?
Fuck out that, put it on.
So
When was I watching hentai?
What is autoplaying?
it's, I don't know, like I think it has some interesting like story elements, especially with the whole, being betrayed by like a classmate of his, and then like basically his journey of just survival. But it's another one where they're just like really throwing the harem romance. Oh, and I remembered that one isekai that didn't, another one that didn't just evolve into like trying to force a harem. It was that Wise Man's Grandchild that we had seen. I think you'd watched it the other day, Dean.
I watched a couple episodes of it. I was going to continue watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one that never, at least to my knowledge, did not like devolve into like a full harem.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I
really liked what I watched.
Yeah.
What's that about? I don't think I've heard of that.
So basically, this guy is isekai. He's reborn into this magic world. They really do not focus much at all on the guy's past. Just that, like,
Great.
I remember stuff from the present. And he's like he's like the grandchild of like Merlin.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he gets super strong because he's taking like the magic that you can do and applying like real life science and physics and stuff to it. So it's just like, oh, here's a fireball. And it's like, well, what if I like pump in a bunch of oxygen into this fireball and like just creates like massive blast and stuff. So he's like, he'll like take things that he knows and try like put it in with his magic. and then just kind of goes from there. Like him being super good at like magic and like fighting, because it's like Merlin was like one of the kingdom's heroes and stuff who like fought off like a big invasion or something like that. So like that's his grandfather. Like he was trained by like one of like the top like swordsmen in the nation. And then like the head of the like magicians and like the head of the knights were like his like big brother sister figures, or like aunt uncle figures and stuff like that. So like he knows all these like big powerful people, like the king, he knows him, and he was just like a family friend, like a friend of his of his grandfather's, sort of a thing. So like he's super strong and all this stuff, he just doesn't know like basic shit. Like at one point they're just like, oh yeah, this could, you know, you could make a lot of money like doing this, and he's like, huh? And it's like, you didn't ever take him go shopping? You never like took him to go buy anything? He's like, never came up.
It's all right.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
doesn't.
just like-
he doesn't teach him common sense. He like basically knows nothing except for magic.
Yeah, so it's just like he'll be like in the presence of the king. He's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" And everyone's just like, "You can't do that." And they're just like, "It's fine. It's cool."
Just ignore that guy.
Like he
It's
becomes
fine.
friends with the prince, so that guy's son. And they become pretty good friends because like he talks to him like he's normal. He's like, "You really don't care that I'm the prince?" And he's like, "Why would I care? Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just a dude." And he's just like, "Thank you. I am just a dude."
I am just a dude.
He's like,
I am just a dude.
it's like, oh yeah, somebody who's not like freaking out over my status or anything like that. Just because like it's just like, he just was never taught like a lot of this common sense shit. But like yeah, it's pretty fun. It's definitely like, you know, if you're ever just like wanting something to like throw on in the back, you know, you throw that on. There's only one season of it. I don't think they're doing another season, so you can just probably knock it out in probably like a day or two. I think it might be 12 episodes.
Huh.
So, somewhere along that.
I might have to give that a watch then, because I blew through a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, but I think that's the majority of what I've watched the last 2 weeks. Yeah, because I'd taken vacation and I was actually doing a lot of other stuff and not just sitting around watching anime. So
Yeah.
I didn't watch a whole lot that week.
here at the Weeb Trash Podcast, we've partnered with Debbie to tell you about their energy powders that help with focus while not bringing on the jitters or crash. With chosen amino acids and vitamins, Debbie brings transparency to their products with everything listed on the labels. Currently, Debbie offers 4 different flavors with Dragonade, Dub Sludge, Galaxy Grenade, and Beach and Peach. Get ready to be better with Debbie and snag a 10% off with the code WeebTrashPod at checkout. Once again, that is WeebTrashPod for 10% off at checkout. Those best.
All right, so Cody, what have
All
you seen?
So, watched a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's going to tie into what I watched last week, because I started a bunch of stuff last week, but finished it this week. So, yes, started and finished World's Finest Assassin. Talked about that. Finished Horimiya this week, and I started it last week. Really good. As a romance anime goes, it does a really good job. So, 10/10. Killing the game.
When you started it last week, weren't you saying like it wasn't very good? Or
No. So I ended up watching like 10 episodes of it last week, but forgetting to watch Shikimori because I liked it better.
yeah,
I have rectified that. I watched the last weekend, this week's episode of Shikimori, and I will give this series one thing. If you turn your brain off and watch it, it actually has some funny moments. So they don't have a beach episode, but they go to a river because the main guy, his whole shtick is that like he's accident prone to like the point that the world's actively trying to kill him. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't go to the beach for a lot of reasons. So they're like, okay, we'll just go hang out in a river because that was cool. Kind of a different change, nice change of pace. It's cool. I liked it. One of the side characters that's been spitting out one-liners left and right was making jokes about Izumi getting swept away by the river, which happens later in the episode, and you're like, I can kind of get on with this. This is kind of okay. But as a romance story, it's still not very interesting. Yeah.
Because Adi was listening. She was listening to the episode. I think it was yesterday, like afternoon. And then she said, "That bitch." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "I like you, Rivia."
No, Horimiya's a banger. Like, tell her.
I was like, what did he say about it? She's like, he said it wasn't that interesting. There's other better stuff.
No, Shikimori is the one that's like.
I was like, well, I'll tell him.
Shikimori is really good at like, in a kind of a similar way that people talk about Clan Ad. Like, I've never watched Clan Ad, but
Clan Ad make it cry.
Yeah, it does kind of that. In a way of like, it's not nearly as emotional because like no one dies or anything, which I think happens in Clan Ad. But like the last episode or the second to last, it's all of these people reckoning with like, oh, we're about to graduate and our friend group's about to possibly dissolve. What do we do? And it's a really interesting take on how all these different people like try to handle that. So it kind of shifts from being like this one particular romance to like everyone in the group being like, oh, this is gonna be the thing. I would really like it if they did kind of an after story like 5 years later or something. It'd be really interesting to see that.
She was pretty upset. She's like, it just ends?
Yeah, like
it's like, yeah, that's what happens. Shows end.
Yeah, like it doesn't do itself favors in that instance of like, hey, everyone's talking about the future, but get fucked, you're not gonna know what anyone does in the future. I really like, even if it was just a movie or an OVA, I would be really down to see like, oh, this is what happens to everyone and stuff. Really solid. Like I said, way better than Shikimori. I finished Zapang, which is like a mid-2000s anime. It is a time travel thing that sends a modern-day missile destroyer back to World War II. And it's the Japanese Self-Defense Force, JSDF's missile cruiser that gets sent back. So they're like trying to figure out, do we help World War II Japan? Do we not? Is it kind of a dick move not to do that? What do we do? And they make like one character makes a big deal of the whole butterfly effect for the first 2 episodes. And then they're like, yeah, fuck the butterfly effect. We don't want to die. Really interesting. It kind of gives me I can't think of a similar anime to it, but it does give me some like Band of Brothers specific vibes here and there. They portray battles fairly accurately, and the whole the kind of commentary on like modern day Japanese self-defense force doctrine and stuff of like, we don't want to go to war, we just don't want people to die. So there's a lot of instances where they're just trying to stop a big battle they know is about to happen, and the Japanese are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're trying to kill the enemy. They're like, bro, it's not our enemy. And they're like, oh my god, I fucking hate you people. Really good though. It ends on kind of like a setup for a second season that it never got, but I think the manga continues on. Really interesting political stuff. Like, if anyone likes World War II Japan and their weird like internal power struggles, there's a lot of that shit in this show. Really good. Finished that. I think it was 27 episodes in total, so it was a little bit long. Kind of hard to binge. It's a little bit of a slog, and it's hard to find, so take it that as you will. I caught up rather, on Overlord. I was halfway through season 2, so I finished that. Finished season 3. Got the whole Sebas thing with his like maid person. Then you got a bunch of the battles and stuff, and the royal family. Royal family's fucking weird. Yeah, you guys were right on that one.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they didn't get introduced up until like I had started watching this week, and I was like, oh, this makes total sense. There's something weird with that princess, and this prince guy is a dick, and the other prince guy is kind of a weird schemy dick. King seems aight. He seems like he's there. He's just vibing. He's just old. He's waiting to retire, which is, I guess, die. But Hamsky's still fucking cool though. Like Tintin, Hamsky, love Hamsky. I did get Ainz is a pretty cold motherfucker in this like last part of like season 3. He's like, "You're adventurers, eh? Adventure to death."
Let him into the fucking tomb of Nazarick. Yeah.
I like that he lets the one get away, and he's like, "Shal's here, go fuck with that one."
Yeah.
And she goes and fucks with that one.
That's the one when people were like getting all weird about him doing that. I'm like, he's a fucking bad guy. What the fuck do you want him to do? Like, I guess they just thought he was gonna be good.
Yeah,
No, he's literal the ruler of Nazarick. Like, he's gonna take over the world.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I wish he would do that more.
Is kind of actually running things without knowing that he's running things, because Ainz is like, yes, that was the plan all along.
You read my mind.
Yes, I intended to take over the world. I wouldn't say let down, but when the last episode of season 3 is titled PvP, and they make like a big deal about it, it's right there. But in the show, Ainz is like, I call this PvP. And I'm like, oh shit, another player? And it's just the night guy. And I'm like, this is still kind of a cool moment, but like, that kind of sucked.
Then he kills him, and then
he's fucking just like chops that guy. He's like, okay, you're dead. Let's go. I've got shit to go do. The Goblin Army was pretty cool. I'm glad they showed up. That was pretty crazy. I liked all their little introductions. They were pretty fun.
What did you think about the weird giant elephant goat things that were in bad CG?
Yeah, that I did. I think I noted down that the CG is real rough in some of these spots.
Yeah. I think that was the bad. Like, other than it's like lizard sex, weird goat CG monsters.
Yeah, they're kind of right there.
Yeah.
It's not great, but maybe they've had time, and maybe they'll get more money to do a better job.
We'll find out in a couple months.
Or we'll just continue to get bad CG goat things, because whatever.
CG's come a long ways.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it has been a couple of years since season 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were like back to back for a while.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that like season 3 was pretty close to season 2. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Because there's several times where like anime will switch from like your like the normal animation to like this like 3D like CG animated thing. Yeah. And like every single time I've seen that, it's just like that's.
I feel like they don't use it in the right ways, because there's other shows that I'm trying to think of what else. I don't think I noted it down. There's other shows I've noticed that in recently where, fuck it. No, yeah, Vinland Saga does this in a weird way that like I've only seen it in the intro so far, but whenever they show large armies, it's CG, and like none of the characters are like detailed to the same extent, obviously, but it's like copy and paste just medieval soldier guy. It's like, oh, this not great. Like, this is a weird thing that oddly enough Zepang did really well for like mid 2000s. They CG'd pretty much only the fights, like the actual battleship stuff, and that kind of makes sense, because it's like, oh, this is a different thing. It's not like another humanoid style character. It blends fairly well with like the regular 2D animation. And like Gundam and Code Geass have done this well in the past as well, where like the mech fights will be in CG and they're actually really well done, and they'll just kind of like leave all the individual character interactions to regular animation. And yeah, it's kind of different at first, but like that CG is not just, oh, we can't actually draw this many people, we just need to like copy and paste. It's like, oh, well, this is where the budget hits, like we're throwing the money here. And not a lot of things, including Overlord, have done that. But, we'll see. Hopefully it gets better. But
Madhouse said that it's coming out in July.
Oh, shit. So pretty close.
Season 4. And they also said there's going to be a movie that will cover the arc right after that.
Wow.
It says season 4 is going to be volumes 10 through 12. And then the movie's going to be volume 13.
Weird.
And there's only 15 volumes
no,
right now.
Okay, so it's still like actually ongoing.
The light novels, I think there's only 15.
Oh, so the light
And
novels.
there's probably only going to be 5 seasons,
Okay, I mean, a lot has happened, but
unless they just finish it off with another movie.
yeah, I guess they could. But I was really hoping that we'd see another player because like that whole idea and kind of being teased at the beginning, I'm like, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I never read the light novels. I want to read it. And Chris Guerrero, the voice actor for Ainz, is doing the audiobook for the light novel. So
Oh shit, you know what?
Ainz will
Reminds
go
me.
on is doing the audiobook, so I might actually listen to it.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that would, I mean, I know like reading for audiobooks is kind of a different bag, but it feels like that would be a pretty easy like extra side gig for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'll actually see if that's it.
Also, I got
Oh hell yeah, it is.
like fucking poison ivy this weekend or poison oak like this week, so I'm super itchy. And my life is miserable.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Arm herpes.
Yeah, I got arm herpes. Pretty bad.
Nature's herpes, poison ivy.
Luckily, it's only on this arm and like under this titty. So I don't know why it's under this titty, but it is.
Probably because it was on your arm and then you went to bed and your arm rested there.
Like
Should've
shoved
been.
it up under the titty.
Yeah.
Should have been. At least it's not on my crotch. So
I guess it could be worse. Could be worse.
All right, back on
Yeah,
train.
away from
topic.
away from
yeah.
poison ivy. Let's see. So watched Skeleton Knight as well. What else did I watch? I watched some other stuff. Watched a couple of Cuckoos, which is another romance thing airing this season. Kind of I wouldn't say the most unique concept, but two people get switched at birth. I don't know how, because like they're very distinct looking, and like the parents are also very different looking. So like how they weren't like, oh, why does my kid have like bright red hair when I and my wife have black hair, and none of one in our family has had red hair. That's weird, but they go with it.
Why is my kid an anime protagonist?
Yeah, basically. But like
I got
what?
a rock.
One of the kids goes to like a poor family and studies really hard to get in like a really good school. The other one is like a big social media influencer who lives with the rich family. And her family's like, hey, we're rich, so we're going to force you into an arranged marriage because that's what rich people do, I guess. I don't know. So she keeps doing a bunch of shit to try to get out of it. And they run into each other on the way to a dinner where their parents meet because they find out that, oh, our children got switched at birth and they don't know. So they're like, oh, okay, well, you're going to pretend to be my boyfriend so I can get out of this whole arranged marriage thing. And yeah, so they kind of go on that line. And then the parents are like, oh, great, you guys already met. You're getting married. That's cool. We're, cool with it. And they're like, wait, what? No. And yeah, just kind of an interesting thing. It's it's very light Kaguya-sama dubs where there's like a lot of, with her being a social media influencer and stuff, there's some slang there. It doesn't get used nearly as much. But, it's still, I think, better than Shikimori, but it's not, like, as good as, like, Horimiya or Love After World Domination or Kaguya-sama. Kaguya-sama, though, for a good portion of it, got real serious this episode, which kind of weird, because that show doesn't get, like, serious a lot, but it gets real serious. I'm like, oh, no. Which makes me think that this maybe is the last season. I don't 100% know that. But the narrator who's like going through all of it is just killing it. Like that narrator sells that show so hard. It's so good. But yeah, that's good. Let's see. Trapped in a Dating Sim is good. They do a maid cafe. Several characters point out it's stupid. Self-aware, I'm into it. I don't know if maybe I just wasn't watching hard enough, but it looked like Marie called Leon a background mob, and no one blinked like at all. No one was like, that's a weird phrase to use.
Yeah, she called him a background mob.
Yeah, so I don't know if she did it in her head or if she was speaking out loud. I wasn't paying a lot of attention, to be honest. But the most important part of that episode is Leon's trying to bang the queen, and I'm like,
hell yeah.
Leon, You can hate everyone else. This queen hates you. Go for it, bruh. Let's go.
I mean, I don't think she hates him. She's kind of into it.
Yeah, no, she's into him now. Like, she was prepared to hate him, but she's like, you know, this kid humiliated my son, but my son's an idiot, so I'm gonna go be a bother to him. And then she's like, oh shit, I'm kind of into it.
And she's like, I'm so old. She's like, I'm 30.
Damn, queen, making me feel old. But yeah, so that was good. Let's see. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, a lot of politics happen. Not much else I can say there. Talked.op Destiny is good. A lot of scheming. Really weird, and I think it's because this is based on a mobile game that we don't have here. For a show that's being like sold as like, oh, music arts, and they all have a piece of music that's dedicated to them. I could be really ignorant to like what those actual songs are, but it doesn't sound like they like play those, which seems very strange to me. And there's not a lot of actual music play in that. Like, there's a soundtrack, but they don't make a huge deal out of it. And it's kind of weird. It's still okay. The animation's really pretty, so, you know, I guess I'll give it a pass there, but you know, it's alright. I did get a single episode of Star Blazers in, which is Battleship Yamato for the Americas. It's still good. I just kind of fell off on that like a couple months ago. I was like, oh shit, I'll watch an episode. All right. Got the first like 5.5 episodes of Vinland Saga in. Good. It's brutal as fuck. Like, people are getting just got all over the place. Bunch of Nordic names I cannot pronounce, but I'm like, good for you voice actors. That probably took a lot of work. But yeah, I'm actually right where they're at. It feels like there's like a little bit of a time skip and Thorfinn's getting real fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, stab the English. Fuck the English. Let's go Danes. And yeah, outside of that, the only other thing I watched was 12 episodes of, maybe more episodes of Naruto. So I stopped with Neji's fight against the Sound Village, picked it up there. That fight's alright. It's not that good. I think Neji's Naruto fight and Neji's Hinata fight are way better. Choji's fight's still, I think, the best of the Sound Ninja fights. You see Naruto go into beast mode, that's cool. Kiba feels like he wins when he rips that dude in half. And I'm like, oh shit, he ripped that dude in half. That dude's dead as fuck. But he's like, nah, that's my gimmick. You're like, oh shit. Kiba, you're in the worst possible matchup ever. Bone Boy shows up. He's doing bone shit. It's like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the worst fucking like ability you can have. That sounds awful. Like,
Kimaru and his bone cancer.
Trying to tell me this dude's ability is boning?
Boning.
Yeah, and he shoves his bones out. So, you know, let's go.
Bone sword.
Yeah, he's got a bone sword. He shoots bones out his chest and his fingers. I don't think he's ever boned in his life because that sounds like a very terrible ability.
It's terminal too.
Yeah, he's just, like, this is gonna kill him anyway. But yeah, he's like, Orochimaru's my guy, so maybe, you know, he did get a little weird boning in. Hopefully not. Hopefully he was bedridden, but
that's the problem though, is that Orochimaru wanted him.
Yeah, he didn't get to bone.
It just didn't happen.
Orochimaru wanted to bone, but didn't get to bone.
Yeah, because it's like, I want your body, and then it's like, okay, it's terminal. He's like, I got something I gotta go do.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck.
I do like that the guy that Orochimaru takes over, who is like this nameless jobber guy, is voiced by Johnny Young Bosch. And I'm like, yo, it's Lelouch, what's up? Love you, Johnny Young Bosch.
It's always been Johnny Young Bosch. We need that's one that we didn't finish, Dean.
What?
Johnny Young Bosch.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Just didn't
And
finish.
that it was that older anime. I think it was like the 90s. It's like the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, Gon Tetsuo.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, Gon Tetsuo.
We'd gotten a good chunk of the way through it.
I love Johnny Young Bosch. I mean, he's the same voice and everything, so it's not like
Gon Tetsuo.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
We're almost done with it. It's really fucking good too.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know why we stopped. But I think we started watching
I don't
something
remember.
else.
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably
You got
Isekai.
two guys with ADHD. It's like, why do we stop watching this? There's literally
No
probably
reason.
1,000
It's like-
reasons why we just. One of them probably just we forgot about it. Forgot it existed.
Did
Probably.
we ever finish Fire Force season 2?
I went back and like I
know,
rewatched
like-
all of season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched it. I was trying to remember if we even watched it.
Season 3 confirmed.
The two of us didn't watch it together. I went back and
Okay.
rewatched all of it. Like
Because
couple
season 1
months ago.
ends with the brothers fighting,
yeah,
right?
they fought and did stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they spend, I think, in the second season a lot of time in like old Japan town. I can't remember what
It was that
Ekatsuka?
other like nuclear
Rural.
plant or whatever.
it was like rural Japan area or something like that.
Yeah, then they go
they
to like
gave
the
that-
Potato
continent.
farmers.
They gave that guy a weird fucking voice, which I think in the sub is really racist.
Oh, great.
Like in
Oh, great.
Japanese, it's really racist. 'Cause
Which
I think
guy?
it's supposed to be
Oh,
the big tall guy with the bowl cut. I think he's supposed to be Chinese or something like that, and so it's pretty racist.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Japanese dub.
Because in the English dub, he's like a
He's
hick.
southern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very strong hick accent.
Yeah, oddly
Yeah.
enough, they did that in Zapang too with one guy, and it's like no one else has a strong accent but that one guy, and you're like, why the fuck does this guy have a weird southern accent? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not against it, it's just kind of weird. Yeah, that guy. That's yeah, Fire. Like, if we're like talking about good fights, Fire Force has quite a few like pretty good fights.
They do. I do
Good
have something at
companions.
like 5:30 though. So
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh,
if we want to do like side characters instead, because that will probably be a faster
Oh, yeah.
conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of side characters, I was gonna go with Rock Lee anyway, because Rock Lee's the man, the myth, the
Rock
legend.
Lee is the best.
Like, yeah, Rock
Dude
Lee,
goes hard.
10-10, like, fight people. Let's go.
No, Tintin doesn't get to fight people.
Oh yeah, no, 10-10 gets got. Rock Lee doesn't get got. I mean, he does.
Yeah,
but, you know.
I did talk about that right when like it was in like in Naruto whenever everybody's kind of getting like, you know, they're like their arc, their like their backstory stuff. Like it went into like what are their names, like Rock Lee stuff and
Neji's.
yeah, Neji's
Yeah.
stuff. Like you got some backstory with like Sakura and some of the other ones, and I was just like, I remember watching it with Hunter being like, "Oh, I can't wait to see like what all goes on with like Tintin," and Hunter was just like,
that
Oh.
man.
"Yeah." I'm like, "What?" And she's just like, "Yeah." She's like, "So Tintin's a girl, so she doesn't get character development." I was just like, "Oh." So we have a running joke about Tintin because it's like they really could just replace her with just instead of her having any dialogue, she's just gonna hugs up and she's like girl, 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 girl,
Go.
because
Girl.
that's all they use her for. It's just like
Yeah.
here's
She's a
Tintin, she's
girl.
a girl.
Basically.
Anyway,
yeah.
moving on.
Basically, yeah. No, like she gets got dirty when like you have Sakura and Ino and Tamari actually doing cool
Yeah,
shit.
getting backstory, like actually like, oh, I'm pushing myself to the limit. I'm doing all this, and it's like cool. What about you, Tintin? She's like,
I got
don't-
weapons.
I don't get any of that. I got these scrolls, and then like weapons come out.
Yeah.
It's never gonna come up again.
Ever. Get wrecked.
I'm not
Tintin.
picking you up again.
He's like, come on,
Go away.
let's go. Do it.
It's almost as bad as like the creator of Dragon Ball when somebody's like, "What about Launch?" and he's like, "Who?
Who?
Oh yeah, forgot about
Blue
her."
hair chick. Yeah, I got Bulma. I don't need another blue hair chick.
I checked that one off. You guys went down the boxes. Okay, so Seve, who is your one of your favorite side characters? I guess.
So one of my
Kuwabara.
who?
Kuwabara.
He's pretty great.
I mean, you do put pompadours in anything you can put on.
Listen, when you're playing a game and you can just rock a giant pompadour,
You have
how
to.
you not gonna make Kuwabara? of the stuff I've watched, like I think here recently, it's kind of been, I think, more on the forefront of my mind. Like I will agree, Rock Lee, super solid.
Yeah.
Probably like one of the best things about that show. So, what's this? From I don't know if I want to say it's like one of my favorites because like My Hero has so many like supporting characters and like they do such a good job of like making them well-rounded that like Todoroki, like I really dug like how he kind of started off and like you really saw like a lot of that growth in him, and he went from being just like this dude's a prick to like getting a better understanding of why he is how he is and why he's doing what he's doing, and then realizing that the way he was acting, he wasn't acting any better than his own father. And then
Which
him
is
like
father's like son, because you meet his dad, and you're like, that guy's a prick.
yeah
And then you like him at the end of this show.
so yeah, and then I think he like comes to that realization where he's just like, I'm not acting any better.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like just striving to be better than like All Might, which is what his dad's always done, he's just striving to be better than his dad without using the powers he got from his dad. And then like to see how he like really grows and gets to the point where he's just like, it's a part of me, but like I still don't have to like my dad, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Like I really appreciated that like that character growth he got. But like just like straight up side character, and I will say like at first I wasn't a huge fan, but like the interaction that the main character had with him, like I really like loved this character, was Toto from JJK.
Hell yeah.
Like the whole like flashback scene he has
They've been
of
school
him being
together.
in middle school, and then like with the Itadori, he's like we did back in middle school. He's like, yeah, and then afterwards he's just like, we didn't know each other. Like, what are you talking about? He's
we
like, how are you
just
doing
met."
this? How can you do this to me, brother? We're best friends. He's just like, get away from me, dude.
Was it
But,
like
like
the
he's
only?
just so adamant about like we grew up together, we're best friends. Like he has this whole thing in his mind about all that, but like he is like crazy strong, but like the way that he's just like in the middle of all this, like teaching Itadori and like making him better, and then like how well he's like working with him.
That fucking
I just
fight.
yeah, that's actually on one of my things for the top fights as well.
Hell yeah.
But like he is one of those that like he's so important with like in the story itself, but he's also just like, it's such a like in a stressful like crazy hectic situation, he's still like a bit of a comic relief.
Yeah.
Because it's just stuff's happening and like it's just like I couldn't help but laugh at it.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm
I love
laughing
it.
and it's just like, you know, Fugashaki, I think was his name. You know, he's like dying and stuff, has this thing this like a seed sticking out of him and all this stuff. But you got Toto over there having a flashback that he's created in middle school with his best friend Itadori, and the girl he likes was just some idol.
Yeah.
You
And
were
he
there for
thinks
me when
this
I
is
was
like
sad.
what's real. It's just like one of those things where it's just like the fact that he can turn around and make me laugh like that, I was just like, oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And then beat the shit out of somebody like right afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I it's one of those things that like I don't feel like I would have enjoyed the show nearly as much if he was not a part of it.
Right.
And I think that's what makes him like such a good side character in my mind.
Yeah. He's really high up there. He's unique in that way
And I'm
as
sure
well.
there are others that like I'm sure like if I think back, you know, I'll probably like message you guys like in 3 days. I'll be like, this guy too.
Be like, okay, great. We'll bring it back up again next
I'm
week.
sure I'll come up with more and stuff, but I think one of the big things for a side character and like how it ranks is trying to imagine what the series would be like without that side character being in it.
Right.
And I'm really counting like actual side characters, because like I would even go so far as saying, you know, like people like you know, your like edgelords,
Sasuke.
yeah, that guy, like Sasuke, or like you know, your Idas and stuff like that, or more of like not necessarily like a side character, but like a secondary one almost.
And they
Because
also, like, Sasuke plays as the antagonist in parts of the show as well.
yeah, so like I feel like there are some that like but like, you know, Rock Lee I feel is like a true side character.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, he has some stuff to him and stuff like that, but he's never really part of like the main group for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, I think a good side character is one that like the show takes a considerable dip if you try to think about that show not having that character involved. And for me, like I enjoy JJK, but like, you know, the last half of that show, like I do not think I would enjoy it nearly as much had it not been for Toto.
Yeah, Toto is like one of the standouts of that show. Like he's super easy. Like he's the funniest and yet like one of the strongest characters in that show.
Yeah, which is like, and that's why I don't feel like I could go with like Gojo, because like so much is centered around him being like the just strongest person ever.
Yeah.
Because like it's pretty clear like he's like one of the strongest like Jujutsu sorcerers around.
Yeah.
Because like there's an entire thing where it's just like, we're gonna do all this stuff. Anybody else can come in, but we need this one field that will only keep out Gojo.
This one guy, yeah. They
so it's kind of like
talk about that in the prequel movie in manga, like what his actual abilities are, and like a lot of it's inherited, which is why he's so big.
Yeah, and because it kind of reminds me of One Punch Man to a certain extent, where like so much of like the build up of like what are they gonna do in One Punch Man is just like, what can this person do to delay everybody else dying until he gets there?
Yeah.
Because like once he gets there, it's not gonna be a fight, like it's over.
Yeah. It's done.
Right.
So I feel like Gojo is like kind of like integral.
Until you get to.
What were you saying?
But I was saying, because like on One Punch, it's like it's literally until like the final boss, like it just ends.
Yeah. So like I feel like Gojo is like too instrumental in like the story and like the world of it all for him to be just kind of like a side character in my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, you could take Toto out and like you would still have the majority of that show there with it. Like you could take Rock Lee out and you would still basically have like all of Naruto and stuff. Some things would be missing, but like if you took Gojo out, like huge plot points are gone. So like that's why I think I have a hard time considering him like a side character.
Right. Fair.
But all right, Dean, what you got for side characters?
Well, it's like kind of like I had one in my mind, but neither one of y'all seen One Piece. It's like Buggy the Clown. He's one of my favorite characters in the entire show.
You
And
can
it's
go
like-
with a fugly clown if you want.
And it's like there's a certain, and it's like when you explain it, like how would this show be without this person? Like he's not in it like a whole like good chunk of the show, but the one arc that he comes back in, it's like it's in a prison, and it's the only reason like Luffy escapes. So like technically, if he wasn't in that show, like he wouldn't be able, he'd be fucking dead.
Yeah.
But for the
like,
most, I think I could still see him being a side character because there's the whole thing with Rock Lee fights Bone Dude when nobody else can. It's just because his
yeah,
medicine
Yeah,
that
he's
he
fucking
takes
drunk.
gets mixed up and he gets drunk, and then like guys like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, he's drunk.
Yeah.
That's not good.
We gotta get out of here. Like he is like fucking unmanageable if he gets drunk. Like this guy's fucked. We just need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty like dependent thing
like a
on
drunken fist. Yeah.
yeah, like in the show. But for the most part, the show could have gone without.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like that would still be your Fugly Clown could still be a what was his name?
Buggy the clown.
Buggy.
Buggy. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like Buggy the Clown could still be considered that, like, if he had one moment in
Mhm.
the show where it was like a linchpin type thing, like yeah, I think that's still fine. But for the most part, he was just kind of a supporting character, side character.
I was also like trying to bring it back to like something that all of us have seen, and then I came up. I was like, oh, Kilo up, but then Cody hasn't fucking seen Hunter x Hunter. And then I was like, oh, Kamina from Gurren Lagann, but you haven't fucking finished it. So it's like, well, fuck.
Even then, like
Direct.
Killua, I would even say is like
He's more popular than Gon.
well, I would say he's more of a
Main,
secondary protagonist sort of a thing. Like
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't count
more than
like,
a supporting character. Yeah,
yeah, like I wouldn't count Ida.
like maybe
You know.
Leorio. It would be more of a supporting character because he goes and comes.
After the first season, yeah. Like in first season, I think he was still part of like that main group.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, they're just like, all right, we're gonna go do stuff. One just like, I'm gonna go take down an entire criminal organization.
Oh, Karapika?
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm gonna go study and be a doctor.
I'm gonna go be a doctor.
Like, okay. And they come
And he has-
into him, and then he's like, fuck, I'm weak.
But then he gets that punch at the end of the show.
I need to go back and watch.
Punches his dad in the face. It's pretty good. But yeah, so yeah, I was gonna do. So I picked Kamina as my solid choice because especially whenever you explained, it's a secondary character, it's a supporting character, and the show wouldn't be the same without him. That show wouldn't fucking exist without Kamina, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he
Kami's very
literally
central.
gives. Hey, it's central to everything. Like he's the backbone of Simone's whole personality, like his whole belief in himself. He's the most like emotionally supportive character. I would
for the whole series.
Yeah, like the linchpin. Like, he's not in it the whole series, but like there's the whole beginning. He gives Simone his confidence. He gives him to believe in himself, and just Kamina himself is probably like one of the most uplifting bro types of characters, where the dude just gives nothing but support no matter what. And 10 out of 10 solid bro.
Yeah. Kamina is the quintessential bro.
It's the quintessential bro of all anime.
Basically, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. What time is it?
It's like
It is
5:30.
almost 5:30.
Cool. Great
You don't have
timing.
other things to talk about?
I mean, I guess we could talk about IMDb stuff, but we'd also just push that off a week if we wanted. I don't care.
We talking about everyone wants to talk about that.
That's the only reason people watch this. To
All those comments.
2 hours
we
in.
always- all the comments we get, it's only about IMDb.
Yeah, that's the only people care about. They're like, we don't want to hear what you guys have to say. Just go scroll down this IMDb
Oh,
list.
what's that? You're gonna talk about IMDb? You're gonna talk about all the shows that you haven't watched? Because that's what it ends up being.
I mean, 30
It
to
is
40,
all-
we've seen a fair few of them. So the one we would have commentary on, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean,
Next
it doesn't matter. Yeah, like, let's push it to next week because I watched like a shitload of stuff this week. So
Hell
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah. I played a lot of Elden Ring. It took a lot of my time.
Yeah. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in, people. Seve's gotta go, so we'll cut it here. Like and subscribe and that shit. I don't know, YouTube stuff.
Or not.
I mean, so I don't think you can do that on Spotify. So
I mean,
I don't know how Spotify works. I don't use it enough.
it's mostly for us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's we don't give a shit about you people listening.
This is just for us to hang out.
Yeah,
pretty much. And if you like it, get down in the comments and just say like, "Fuck you, Cody."
Yeah.
Fuck that Cody guy. We don't like him. Get him out of here. His opinions are dumb. He likes dumb political shows.
Hello, Doc.
But yeah, so we'll see you next week.